Alright, so let's go ahead and open up your table of contents. And your next number on your list, it looks like we're on to number 13. Not 13, 7. Where did I get 13? I don't know. Okay, so we're on to number 7. And we're going to... Yep, we're going to title it... Proportion. And we're going to be adding on to these over the next couple days. So go ahead, do your page 7. So we're just going to call it proportion. And then turn to page 7 and title it proportion. You're watching me, right? There we go. Okay, so proportion. Alright, so how do we know something is a proportion? Does anybody know? How do you know, Kristen?
If it's a proportion, I think I remember proportion, but if it's a proportion, two ratios should be able to, two ratio cards should be able to, be able to go into a factor puzzle and be able to work.
Okay, that's true. Okay. So a proportion is two ratios, and to summarize what you said, Christian, that are equal. They're just equal. We use our factor puzzle to test that. So today, you don't have to write down. If I don't write it up here, you don't have to write it on your paper, okay? So today we're going to start with a little story. So as you guys know, well, some of you might know, I like to dress up my dog. Well, she likes to be dressed up, I'm pretty sure. So Nala has 32 doggy booties. They're all different colors. But she has 32 doggy booties for every 12 sweaters in her closet. That way she can mix and match. How many sweaters will she have when she has 72 booties? So, what we need to do is we need to make an assumption. So, the next thing we need to write in our notes, so I'm going to do like a bullet here. The next thing is assumption. And an assumption is a sentence that explains the basic rate. So, Nolan, if you can't see, you can always come up here and sit on the floor. There's lots of room. Guys, that goes for any of you back there. Okay? So, it's a sentence and it explains the basic rate, and it also explains how it starts. So, we need to write that down. So, it's the sentence that explains the basic rate also how it starts. And what we mean by that is like the time, is it the same time of day, is it the day of the week, or does it start with 0? So we're going to write that down. So same time, comma, day, comma, or with 0. Okay, so we're thinking about Nala. I'm going to read the story again, and I want you to think of how it starts. How did Nala start, okay? So, I'll read it again. Nala has 32 doggy booties for every 12 sweaters in her closet. How many sweaters will she have when she has 72 booties? Second.
It starts with 32 booties and 12 sweaters.
So Nala just magically one day opened her closet and that was there?
It starts with 0.
It starts with 0. We have to make an assumption, there's our word, we have to assume that Nala had 0 sweaters and 0 doggy booties when she started, okay? Which would be true because guess who had to buy them for her? Miss Shaver. Okay, the next thing we got to figure out is what is the basic rate? So, what is she adding every time? What are we talking about? Trey?
Well, for her booties. Well,
so she's adding batches of booties or groups of doggy booties and sweaters at a constant rate, right? Okay, so if I was going to write an assumption, so I'm going to write an example. Can you stop that? That's wiggling everything. Thank you. So I'm going to write an example. And you guys should probably put this in your notes because you have to write assumptions in a little bit. And I want you to have an example of a good one. So, if I was to write my answer, I would say Nala had to have started, like Becca said, with 0 booties and sweaters. Had to have started with 0 booties and 0 sweaters. Or you could use the word no, right? Okay, now for the second part, we're explaining the basic rate. So all we're saying is that then she added groups, or you could say batches, but I think that's more with cooking. But I would probably say then she added groups of booties. Oh, that's a U. And sweaters. Here's the last thing we have to say. Was there a constant rate in our story? Emily?
yeah.
Okay, so then she added groups of booties and sweaters at a constant rate. I do not have to say the answer to the question. I do not have to say what the constant rate is. I just have to say if there's a constant rate or not. And this is an assumption. So based on that story, I'm assuming Nala didn't have any booties or sweaters until Miss Shaver started buying them for her, right? And then when I started buying them for her, I was buying them at a constant rate. Every time Nala needed a new sweater, I would do 32 doggy booties for every 12 sweaters. Because obviously I really wanted her to have a good selection or something. Okay. So, you're going to have to make assumptions today. The next thing you're going to have to do is you're going to have to solve it. So go ahead and write solve. And this one, Christian was already ready to solve it, I think, with a factor puzzle, right? Okay. So factor puzzles are so easy to use to solve these. So what are the two things that we're comparing in our proportion with Nala? One.
Booties and sweaters.
Yeah. So I'm going to label one side booties and the other side sweaters. I'm going to leave a little space here because it's a factor puzzle. And I'm going to have numbers up there, right? Oh, this is kind of a giant one. You don't have to make yours this big. I moved my computer too far from me. so far? What do we know about booties and sweaters? Elizabeth.
That she buys 32 boots for every 12 sweaters.
Okay. So we know 32 booties for 12 sweaters. Now the last question of the problem says, how many sweaters will she have when she has 72 booties? So what do I put down here? Finn.
72.
And do I put under booties or sweaters? Yes, booties. So 72. So we're trying to figure out this box right here. So I'm going to start out and I'm going to say to myself, what do these two numbers have in common? What factor? Tell me. 4. You are correct. If I put a 4 here, I bring it straight across. Then I ask myself, 4 goes into 32 how many times? 8. Jackson? 8. If I put an 8 up here, I put an 8 down here. 8 goes into 72 how many times, Murdoch? Now I'm hearing people whisper the answer. It's 9. We got to practice those math facts. 9's over here. We bring it straight across. 4 goes into 12. How many times? Dominic? 3. There's a 3 up here. I can bring my 3 straight down. And then I know this box, don't I? What is it, Kaylee? 3 times 9 is 27. So I have to label my answer 27 sweaters. Miss Shaver would be broke if this was true. Thank goodness Nala only has 1 pair of booties and